You are not bad with money. You are being surprised by bills that were never actually surprises. That is one of the quietest reasons people stay broke, even when they are working hard, even when they are not buying anything crazy, and even when they honestly believe they are trying to save. Most people build a budget around the bills they can see every month: rent, mortgage, car payment, phone bill, internet, groceries, gas, credit cards, subscriptions, maybe a little savings if anything is left. And because those bills repeat every month, they feel real. They feel official. They feel like the true cost of life. But the bills that destroy you are often not the monthly bills. They are the bills that come every few months, once a year, or only when something finally breaks. Car insurance, car repairs, registration, medical visits, dental work, holiday spending, birthdays, school supplies, tax payments, annual subscriptions, home repairs, clothes that finally need replacing, a laptop that stops working, a phone that gets damaged, a wedding invitation, a family trip, a higher utility bill when the season changes. None of these things feel like part of your normal budget because they do not arrive every Friday or every first of the month, but they are part of your real life, and your real life does not care whether your budget remembered them. This is why so many people feel like they are making progress, and then suddenly they are back at zero. You save $300, then the car needs a repair. You save $500, then insurance is due. You save $1,000, then a medical bill arrives. And because the money disappears all at once, it feels like bad luck. But most of the time, it was not bad luck. It was an unfunded future bill. The mistake is not that the bill happened. The mistake is that the bill had no place to land. When a predictable expense has no assigned money, it attacks whatever cash is easiest to reach. First, it hits your checking account. Then, it hits your emergency fund. Then, it hits your credit card. And once it touches the credit card, it does not just cost the original amount anymore. Now it costs interest, stress, delayed savings, and another month of feeling behind. This is how people get trapped in a cycle where they are technically saving, but never really building. They put money away, then pull it back out. They start an emergency fund, then use it for something that was not really an emergency. They pay down a credit card, then put the same kind of expense right back on it. And after doing this a few times, they start blaming themselves. They say, I guess I am just not disciplined. I guess I am just not good with money. I guess I can never save. But the real problem is not your personality. The real problem is that your budget is only seeing 1 month, while your life is operating across the whole year. A monthly budget can tell you what is due this month, but it cannot protect you from expenses that are quietly walking toward you from 3 months away. If you only plan for January, March can destroy you. If you only plan for this paycheck, December can destroy you. If you only plan for normal weeks, one abnormal week can erase all the progress you made. This is why forgotten bills are so dangerous. They are not always large enough to look dramatic, but they are frequent enough to keep you stuck. A $200 repair, a $180 fee, a $400 insurance payment, a $70 annual subscription, a birthday dinner, a school expense, a small medical charge. Each one looks manageable by itself, but together they form a second budget, one that you are paying whether you admit it exists or not. Most people have an official budget and a shadow budget. The official budget is what they write down. The shadow budget is everything they forgot, ignored, underestimated, or hoped would not happen. And the shadow budget is usually the one that wins. The way out is to stop treating predictable expenses like emergencies. An emergency is something you could not reasonably know was coming. A holiday is not an emergency. Car insurance is not an emergency. Annual fees are not emergencies. Basic car maintenance is not an emergency. Replacing worn-out shoes is not an emergency. A higher electric bill in summer or winter is not an emergency. These things may be annoying, they may be expensive, they may come at a bad time, but they are not invisible. And once you accept that, you can start preparing for them before they arrive. The first step is to make a list of every bill that does not happen monthly. Do not try to make it perfect. Just start with what you can remember. Insurance, registration, taxes, subscriptions, medical appointments, dental cleanings, car maintenance, home maintenance, gifts, holidays, travel, school, clothing, technology, pet expenses if you have them, family obligations, anything that tends to show up and make you say, "I forgot about that." That sentence is expensive. Every time you say, "I forgot about that," money leaves your life faster than it needed to. Then estimate the yearly cost. If car insurance is $600 every 6 months, that is $1,200 a year. If Christmas usually costs $800, that is $800 a year. If car maintenance averages $900 a year, that is $900 a year. If annual subscriptions total $300, that is $300 a year. Now divide each number by 12. That is the monthly cost of a bill you were pretending was not monthly. $1,200 a year is $100 a month. $800 a year is about $67 a month. $900 a year is $75 a month. $300 a year is $25 a month. Suddenly, the problem becomes clear. You were not short on money randomly. You were spending money that already had a future job. This is the key idea. Money in your checking account is not automatically free money. Some of it belongs to rent, some of it belongs to food, some of it belongs to next month, some of it belongs to a bill that will not arrive for 90 days. If you look at your account and see $2,000, you may feel safe. But if $1,500 is already quietly assigned to bills, obligations, and upcoming expenses, you do not really have $2,000 available. You have $500 available. The bank balance is not the truth. The assignments are the truth. This is why people with decent income can still feel broke. Their account shows money, but their life has already claimed it. The money looks available because the bill has not arrived yet. Then the bill arrives, and suddenly the money was never really yours to spend. A good budget does not just track what already happened, it protects money before it gets confused. That is why you need sinking funds. A sinking fund is just money set aside little by little for an expense you know is coming. It is not complicated, it is not fancy. It is not only for people who love spreadsheets. It is simply a way to stop a future bill from becoming a present crisis. Instead of waiting for a $600 bill and panicking, you save $100 a month for 6 months. Instead of letting holiday spending hit your credit card in December, you save $60 or $70 a month all year. Instead of treating car repairs like a disaster, you build a car maintenance fund. The bill may still be annoying, but it does not have the same power over you. The emotional difference is huge. Paying a bill with money already set aside feels completely different from paying a bill with money you needed for groceries. It feels different from pulling from your emergency fund. It feels different from swiping a credit card and promising yourself you will fix it later. Prepared money is calmer money. Assigned money does not panic. The goal is not to predict every detail of life. You cannot do that. The goal is to stop being shocked by categories that repeat. You may not know the exact day your car needs work, but you know cars need work. You may not know the exact medical bill, but you know health costs happen. You may not know the exact amount of holiday spending, but you know the holiday is on the calendar every year. You may not know which appliance breaks, but you know things wear out. Planning for categories is how you protect yourself from details. This is also how you protect your emergency fund. Your emergency fund should not be the place every forgotten bill goes to die. If you use your emergency fund for car insurance, gifts, subscriptions, repairs you should have expected, and seasonal expenses, then the emergency fund never gets a chance to become strong. It becomes a revolving door. Money goes in, money goes out, and you feel like nothing is changing. A real emergency fund is for real emergencies. Job loss, a serious medical situation, a true unexpected event, a gap between crisis and survival. But if every predictable bill is treated as an emergency, then your emergency fund will always be exhausted before a real emergency arrives. This is why some people need two types of savings. One is the emergency fund. The other is life maintenance money. Life maintenance money is for the things that are not monthly but are still normal. Car repairs, annual bills, replacements, seasonal costs, family events. It may not feel as exciting as investing. It may not look impressive, but this is the money that keeps you from going backward. Before you build wealth, you need to stop financial leaks. Forgotten bills are leaks. They do not always look dramatic, but they quietly drain every good intention you have. And the worst part is that they make you distrust yourself. You start thinking, every time I save, something happens. But something did not just happen. Something was already scheduled, and your money did not know. The solution is to give every predictable expense a parking spot before it arrives. Open a separate account if you need to. Use buckets inside your bank app if your bank allows it. Use envelopes. Use a spreadsheet. Use notes on your phone. The tool does not matter as much as the assignment. What matters is that your money is not sitting in one big pile pretending to be available. One big pile is dangerous because it makes every dollar look the same. But every dollar is not the same. Some dollars are for this week. Some dollars are for next month. Some dollars are for the car. Some dollars are for insurance. Some dollars are for medical costs. Some dollars are for true emergencies. When all of that money sits together, your brain reads it as spending power. Separation creates clarity. Clarity creates control. Control creates peace. Start small if you have to. You do not need to fully fund every category immediately. That is where many people quit. They make a list, realize the yearly cost is bigger than they expected, and feel defeated. Do not use the truth as a reason to quit. Use it as a map. If you cannot save $100 a month for car insurance, save $25. If you cannot prepare for every holiday expense, prepare for one. If you cannot build every sinking fund, start with the category that hurts you most often. Usually that category is car, medical, gifts, insurance, or annual fees. The first goal is not perfection. The first goal is fewer surprises. Even a half-funded bill is better than a completely forgotten bill. If a $600 bill arrives and you already have $300 saved, you only need to solve half the problem. That matters. Progress is not only when a problem disappears, progress is when the problem becomes smaller than it used to be. Another powerful step is to review the last 12 months of your spending. Look through your bank statements and credit card statements, not to shame yourself, not to punish yourself, just to find patterns. Search for expenses that made you feel caught off guard. Write them down. Ask one question: will this probably happen again? If the answer is yes, it needs a category. The past year is not just a record, it is a warning. It shows you what your future might ask for. Most people ignore the past and then repeat it. They say, this year will be different, but they keep the same structure. Different results usually require different assignments. If last year holidays went on a credit card, and this year you do not create a holiday fund, the same thing will probably happen. If last year car repairs wiped out your emergency savings, and this year you do not create a car repair fund, the same thing will probably happen. Hope does not stop repeat expenses. Preparation does. You also need to understand that irregular bills are one reason raises disappear. When income goes up, people often upgrade the visible parts of life first. Better food, better clothes, better apartment, better car, more subscriptions, more convenience. But they do not upgrade their sinking funds. They do not increase the money assigned to maintenance, emergencies, annual bills, and future obligations. So when the next forgotten bill arrives, the higher income still does not protect them. This is how someone can earn more and still feel trapped. The raise went to lifestyle, but the risks stayed unfunded. A smart raise has assignments before it has upgrades. Part of it can improve your life. That is fine. But part of it should protect your life. If your pay goes up by $300 a month, do not let the entire $300 vanish into comfort. Assign some of it to the bills that used to knock you down. Maybe $100 goes to an emergency fund, $50 goes to car maintenance, $50 goes to annual bills, $50 goes to debt, $50 goes to guilt-free spending. Now the raise to guilt-free spending. Now the raise actually changes your future. Without assignment, extra income becomes extra confusion. Another reason forgotten bills hurt so much is that they arrive with emotion attached. A birthday is not just a budget line. It is love, guilt, obligation, image, family, expectation. A holiday is not just a number. It is tradition, pressure, comparison, memory. A car repair is not just a repair. It is transportation, work, safety, fear. Because these expenses are emotional, people avoid planning for them. They do not want to think about them until they have to. But avoiding the number does not avoid the cost. It only removes your chance to prepare. Planning ahead is not being negative. It is being kind to your future self. When you save for gifts ahead of time, you are not becoming less generous. You are making generosity less stressful. When you save for car repairs ahead of time, you are not inviting something bad to happen. You are accepting that machines need maintenance. When you save for medical expenses ahead of time, you are not being pessimistic. You are refusing to let normal life become a financial crisis. Mature money management is not pretending nothing will go wrong. It is building a system that can absorb normal pressure. The people who seem calm with money are not always earning more. Sometimes they are just less surprised. They know what is coming. They know where the money is. They know which dollars are free and which dollars are already assigned. That calm is built through repetition. Once a month, look ahead. What is due in the next 30 days? What is due in the next 90 days? What is due before the end of the year? This simple habit can change everything. Most budgets look backward. They ask, where did my money go? A stronger budget looks forward. It asks, what will my money need to do soon? Looking backward gives information. Looking forward gives protection. You need both. And when a forgotten bill appears, do not just pay it and move on. Capture it, add it to the list, turn it into a category. A surprise should only surprise you once. If it happens again next year and you still have no plan, it is no longer a surprise. It is a pattern. And patterns are where your money is either lost or saved. This is not about becoming cheap. It is about becoming honest. Your real cost of living is not just your rent, food, and monthly bills. Your real cost of living includes keeping your car running, keeping your body healthy, keeping your home functional, replacing things that wear out, participating in life events, and paying obligations that do not care about your payday schedule. Once you see that, your budget may feel tighter at first. That is normal. Truth often feels smaller before it feels safer. When you start assigning money to yearly expenses, you may realize you have less free money than you thought. That can be uncomfortable, but it is better to know now than to be shocked later. False free money is expensive. Real free money is what remains after the future has been respected. That is the money you can spend without fear. That is the money you can enjoy without wondering what bill you forgot. And this is where financial peace begins. Not with a perfect income, not with a perfect budget, not with never spending money. It begins when your money stops being surprised by your life. So before you ask why you cannot save, ask what your savings keeps paying for. Before you blame yourself for another setback, ask whether the setback was actually predictable. Before you say your emergency fund never works, ask whether it is being used for emergencies or for forgotten bills. And before you spend the money sitting in your account, ask what jobs that money already has. The bills you forgot are keeping you broke because they are arriving without assigned dollars. But once you name them, divide them, and fund them slowly, they lose power. The same bill that used to ruin your month becomes just another planned payment. The same expense that used to go on a credit card gets paid from a fund. The same event that used to create guilt becomes something you prepared for. This is how you stop going back to zero. You do not need to predict everything. You need to stop ignoring what repeats. You do not need a perfect system. You need a system that remembers what your brain forgets. You do not need to feel ashamed. You need to give your money clearer instructions. Because being broke is not always caused by one big mistake. Sometimes it is caused by a dozen normal bills that were left outside the budget. Bring them inside. Give them names. Give them dollars. Give them time. And slowly, your money will stop disappearing into things you should have seen coming.